I don't know why, but for all time's sake, I just decided to, comb my hair back when it was wet after I got in the shower. So, if for some reason you didn't see yesterday's video, or if you're watching this on any other social media platform that's not Facebook, you know that yesterday I had a if you do, you already know. If you're just watching this just on YouTube, you're about to know now. But I had a very big day yesterday. In fact, plain and simple, my low is the fact that it's over. It ended too soon for my liking. Then again, with the party that I went to yesterday, I would have the party go like 24/7, 365, you know what I mean? But it was great. Like, my high is literally from I'll say just after 5 o'clock to, let's say around 9, that's my high. Because that was the party that I went to. And in fact, the party wasn't just anywhere. It was at a place that I had both been to before, yet had never been to before, called 1157 North. I'll be talking about my thoughts on that today, in case, if you couldn't figure out, this is like a video about my experience. And my act of kindness, well, I had to give the guest of honor, his birthday gift. I actually got him I got him a card, but inside the card, I got him a $20 gift card to Barnes & Noble. For those of you who don't know, Barnes & Noble is a bookstore. Because this person loves to read a lot. So, good morning and happy Sunday. Where do I even begin? I mean, a couple of us, including my father and myself, went to church right here in Elmira, right in Southside, which lasted for roughly an hour. And the party didn't start until 6. So we got there fairly early. It was about maybe a 5-10 minute drive from church. Then again, I stupidly got lost. In my defense, my father told me to drive on Main Street past the Elmira College and look for Mary Street. And I turned left on Mary Street, but I should have gone right. That's on me. I'm the one who stupidly made that mistake. I made that mistake. But got there, safe and sound. And from the minute we entered, it was just one of the best experiences ever. Easily the best party I've been to, this whole year. Which, yeah, I'd say a lot, because a week ago when we went for Sunday brunch, that really wasn't a party so much as it was a get-together for brunch. This is a legit party. And this was the biggest and best party I've been to so far. So what happened? Well, here's another act of kindness. I really did offer to help try and set up everything because I arrived early. Because, he had balloons and decorations and confetti in the shape of the number 80 because the guest of honor was turning 80 years old. Actually, he already turned 80 this past Monday. We were just, celebrating with gusto now. So, as more and more people arrived, we were given our, hors d'oeuvres. And our hors d'oeuvres consisted of crab rangoons, I forgot to get a picture of them on, the appetizer plate I had, but they were very good. A bit salty, but really good. And I actually like salt, so when I say something's a bit salty, that's saying a lot, actually. So they had crab rangoons. They had bruschetta. I love me some bruschetta. Last time I had bruschetta was actually my cousin's wedding last November, when the hors d'oeuvre table was a make-your-own bruschetta bar. It was incredible. but this was very good. Like this bruschetta, very good. There was meatballs. Well, technically meatball halves because they cut the meatballs in half, but the meatballs are very good. And spinach artichoke dip. Suffice it to say, these are just the appetizers, and 1157 North is already hitting it out of the park for me. So, after we have hors d'oeuvres, and not just hors d'oeuvres, but there was also, the opening intro, the toast, the prayer before things start moving along, people sitting and talking, laughing, feeling feels, having fun. And that's what this was. This was just good old-fashioned homey fun. And there really isn't much more you could ask for. And now came the dinner. Now, originally, this was my plan, because I took the liberty of looking over the menu that 1157 North has, because I thought, we were all going to get together and, the wait staff one by one was going to take our order, which technically they did, but I'll get to that in a minute, off the menu, and I was going to tell them what I was going to get. However, for this, you had 3 options. Obviously, 1157 North's menu is much more expansive than the options we were given for our entree, but bear with me. There was chicken parm, which a lot of people did get, and if it wasn't for what I wound up getting, I would have got that. There was salmon, which also looked very good, but, come on, the final choice was a 16-ounce Delmonico steak. What do you think my option's going to be among those 3? And let me tell you, the entree was absolutely to die for. It came with, obviously you got your steak, but you also got a baked potato, complete with both butter and sour cream. Honestly, the baked potato kind of threw me off, in a good way. I never expected baked potato, but, I love me a good baked potato. It was a good baked potato. And there was green beans. Very good green beans. Love green beans. At this point, you guys know me. I eat vegetables like it's candy. So, of course I love green beans. Everything was good. That Delmonico, though. And here's the thing. That was actually what I was going to order when we were ordering off the regular menu. Because it really did seem like because if you look on 1157 North's menu, come on, it's the internet. You can look it up anywhere. And you look at the entrees, because normally what I do at a situation like that, when it's like a lot of people and someone else is paying, I actually try and go for the biggest, best thing I see, but for the best price. Because you don't want to be that guy to order the most expensive thing. You don't want to do that. And the Delmonico actually fit the description perfectly. The 2 most expensive items to my recollection are, their big filet, which is $36.95, and their surf and turf, which is filet and scallops, also for $36.95. The Delmonico that I would have gotten would have been $28.95. But to be fair, I also would have gotten a crock of the French onion soup. Totally would have ordered that if I had the opportunity. That did not happen though. Oh well. So, let me tell you, 1157 North, you guys know how to cook a good steak. That steak was absolutely phenomenal. Holy cow. Well, there's a bit I'm going to get into in a minute, but let me just say, I'm glad I finally went. Now, after dinner, there were some games, which I have right here. Now, when I did my live vlog last night, everything came out backwards, but you had the first game, which is The Price is Right. And admittedly, I did have a sheet with the right answers on it, because, I was going to share this with you guys. I wanted to make sure you got the right answers. But someone took my right sheet, so I got this one that my nephew got his hands on. That's why I have a bunch of crayon marks on it. And I might have accidentally wrote the wrong price on one of them. But I'll get to that typo in a second. So if you couldn't, I'm going to go over the list anyway, but here's a better look at it. And if for some reason you can't read it, because the guest of honor was born in 1943. So basically, you had to guess how much this particular item cost. So the answers are: a loaf of bread back in 1943 was 10 cents. The average cost of a new car was $900. The minimum hourly wage was 30 cents per hour. Obviously. Average cost of a new house, $3,600. A bottle of Coke, 5 cents. A postage stamp, 3 cents, and that's where the typo is. I accidentally put 30, but it's really 3 cents. A postage stamp is 3 cents. A gallon of milk, 62 cents. 1 dozen eggs, 35 cents. A gallon of gas, 15 cents. A pound of bacon, like the eggs, also 35 cents. A 10-pound bag of potatoes, 39 cents. The average yearly wage was $2,000. And the average cost of movie tickets in 1943 was only 29 cents. Really gives you perspective as to how things are now, huh? Especially the average cost of a new house. Let that one sink in for a minute. It was at $3,600 in case you didn't hear what I said. Now the next game we played is, and keep in mind, the way that the question was written is not indicative of what the real answers are. Because the question is the birthday honoree younger or older than these inventions? So the answers are the right answers that I got here, but it's a little skewed. You may have to look it up yourself to see. But the birthday guess, well actually, here's the answer sheet. Again, it might be backwards, and if it is, I'm terribly sorry. But the birthday guest is younger than a color TV, older than a videotape recorder or the jukebox, younger than aerosol spray cans, older than Mr. Potato Head, younger than the car radio, older than the hovercraft, younger than both the radar and photocopier, older than both Tupperware and the Frisbee, which actually I learned last night Tupperware is going out of business. Yeah, they're not going to make Tupperware anymore soon. But get what you can. He's older than both super glue and the microwave oven. And he's younger than strobe lighting. So there you go. Now, this final game, this was really fun. The game was this or that. Basically, you were given 2 choices, and the birthday guest would reveal which of those 2 he'd rather prefer, but you had to guess what he was going to say, right? Now, I could show you the answers right here, because these are the answers that the birthday honoree wanted. However, I'm going to play this game myself to tell you which amongst these I would prefer. Okay? Feel free to play along. So would you rather have bad breath or smelly feet? Would you rather prefer bad breath or smelly feet? I'm thinking of that one quote from Ed, Edd n Eddy. How can my feet smell if they don't have a nose? With that said, though, I think I really would prefer smelly feet. Because trust me, I've smelled bad breath before. I've been yelled at by someone with bad breath before. It's not fun. So I prefer smelly feet over bad breath. Working hard or hardly working? I mean, morally, I would work hard, but I really am lazy, so hardly working kind of appeals to me a little bit more. But if I have to work hard, you better believe I'm going to work hard. Air guitars or air drums? Totally air guitars. I legit see myself doing air guitar a lot more than doing air drums. Would I prefer being a passenger or being a driver? Either or is fine, but I'll tell you what though, it's a fun ride if I'm the driver. Would I rather owe money or owe a favor? For sure, I'd rather owe a favor. Because when you complete a favor, that's technically an act of kindness, and that technically provides material for these videos. So there you go. Would I rather prefer wine or beer? Now, the birthday honoree would rather prefer wine. Only recently have I ever really started getting into more of drinking both wine and beer, so I could take either or and I'd be satisfied. But considering there's something that I'm trying to do, I'd rather take wine. I'll get into what that thing is another time. Would I rather prefer coffee or tea? This one's easy. I'd rather prefer coffee over tea. Car or bike? Well, if I was exercising, I guess I would do the bike, but when it comes to traveling overall, I'm taking a car. A vacation or a staycation? Listen, I grew up in a household where your two options were nothing and like it, so if I have to do a staycation, I'll be perfectly fine with that. But in reality, I really would prefer a vacation. City or countryside? Now, yes, I live in the city of Elmira, but much like a bunch of other upstate New York cities, that's not like Buffalo or Rochester, it feels like I'm in the suburbs, which technically is kind of a rural countryside area. So I would rather prefer the city just for a change of pace. Train or airplane? I think this is relative to traveling. I would totally take an airplane. Straight up taking the airplane, no question. Pattern or plain? Again, I grew up in a household where it's either nothing or like it. And when it comes to pattern or plain, it means whatever kind of shirt that I be wearing. So as long as I'll wear whatever keeps me from being nude in public. That is my answer to that question. But considering it says do some damage on it, so technically wouldn't this be considered, wouldn't this shirt I'm wearing be considered a pattern shirt or a plain? You think it's plain, but there's writing on this shirt, so I don't know. But again, I'll take out the pattern or plain just fine. Would I rather attend a party or host a party? That depends. On the whole, I'd be okay with doing one or the other. I mean, if I'm attending a party, there better be free food. Okay? Straight. I said straight up a lot last night in my live blog. I'm trying to not do that anymore. But if I'm attending a party, there better be some free food. But if I'm hosting a party, I'm making sure everybody's having the time of their lives. No question. So, that's up in the air. Would I prefer books or movies? Movies. Come on, you guys know I'm not much of a reader. Which again, considering what I'm trying to do with the wine thing, is kind of ironic. And would I rather prefer souvenirs or postcards? Souvenirs. Hey, come on, postcards are essentially a piece of paper. Souvenirs can be like toys and stuff. And I love me some toys. So, yeah, those were the games. We ended the night with cake and cupcakes. Very good cake and cupcakes. I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, it was actually like a white cake with white frosting, but there was like some strawberry filling in the middle. It was good. And the cupcakes were good too. And there was also coffee to wash it down. And one thing I haven't talked about yet, which I talked about a lot last time on my live vlog, the staff. Holy cow, these are like the nicest, friendliest, most accommodating, most hardworking staff I've ever seen. Period. They saw if you needed like a refill of your drink, or they were very attentive of what you were asking, and they nailed every single request they got from what I saw. So to the good men and women who work at 1157 North, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. You know, honestly, I dare say you'd want to go for the staff alone because they're super nice. But the food, man. The food that we were given, very good quality. Now, to get into the main thing I want to talk about regarding 1157 North. Because, and yes, I told the story a couple times in the last couple days, but it bears repeating. Originally, 1157 North was a place called the Palms. Because remember, the last night was the first time I'd ever been to 1157 North. I had been to the Palms before. Several times, in fact. In fact, a few fun facts. The hostess, who was also the widow of the original owner, I'll get to that in a minute, at one point was my elementary school principal. Pretty cool. In terms of going there for dinner, my two biggest memories, and probably my only biggest memories, are when my brother was about to graduate from Notre Dame High School. They have a baccalaureate mass. And after that mass, we went to the Palms for dinner. It was very good. I believe I had shrimp that night. And the most important memory for me was I actually took my date to junior prom to the Palms before we went. And again, what's even more freaky is the fact that the girl I took just so happened to win senior prom queen just a month prior. I have no, to this day, I attribute that to the combination of my date being an absolute saint and just being incredibly lucky. Because I will admit, high school really wasn't the greatest for me. And I will admit some of that I brought myself. But overall, if you were to ask me if I was just a piece of garbage bag in high school, I wouldn't necessarily deny it. So the fact that this girl actually said yes to me, yeah, that's huge for me. Also, another fun fact, that girl is actually one of the reasons why I went to Trinity College. Really? I mean, the thought occurred to me like, okay, a part of me kind of thinks she not that she was wrong for doing this or anything, but you know, if I came back from Trinity calling a better person, I'd be able to ask her out for real. Admittedly, I got myself in trouble right before the very end. So, on that principle alone, I never did ask her out. But it is something to look fun. It is something to look fun back on, because I can definitely tell you, I was a much different and much better person after I left Trinity Calling than before I went in. Not quite good enough to ask this girl out necessarily, but anyone who saw me or knew me would be able to tell you, yeah, you're different. And we like this kind of different. It also have the fact that I got over contemplating suicide, but again, that's a story for later this year. Far later this year, in fact. But, I mean, aside from that. So overall, last night was absolutely wonderful. I would totally go back to 1157 North to try other things on the menu, even though my first choice would be to go for that Delmonico steak again. But everything about 1157 North, the food, the atmosphere, the very friendly staff, all of it is top quality in my book. And I know I was alluding to this yesterday, but to 1157 North, I hereby grant you the title as one of the Trinity. For those of you who didn't know, listen, you guys know me. I think Libs is the best place in my entire area. However, I won't deny that there are places that have come very darn close. And in the city of Elmira, I count 3. Hence why I call them the Trinity. They are the Rye Bar and Grill, Rye Bar, Hilltop Inn, and as of now officially, 1157 North. By the way, if the Palms was still around, I'd put them as one of the Trinity as well. Which is very fitting because it involves the opening of 1157 North as a whole, because the Palms had it closed. And one of the main reasons why is the owner had fallen ill and passed away. Now, before 1157 North opened, the owners decided to seek out the widow of that owner of the Palms to get her blessing. And obviously, I don't know how the conversation went, but it pretty much went along the lines of, listen, we know that you and your husband left an incredible legacy in the city of Elmira. We want to be able to continue that legacy for you. Please tell us what to do, and we will do it. When someone does that, then you know you're going to be in for something special down the line. And honestly, because of that, I wanted to go to 1157 North before it opened. So the fact I finally got to go, knowing everything I know, past, present, and future, what do I think? I'm very glad I went. I went in with high expectations, and they were wildly exceeded. So, once again, to the good, hardworking staff, the cooks, the waitresses, staff, everybody, thank you for a very wonderful time and a very delicious meal. Trust me, this video, lots of people are probably going to see this video, so you better believe I'm doing nothing but saying good things about you guys for the world to know. So, you're welcome. I hope y'all like this video. If you did like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching. George, it will be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if really good, our entire channel will be here to let me know always right back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. And as far as I'm concerned, 1157 North is one of Elmira's very best.